Follow me on Twitter, Google, or Instagram. I posted that throughout most of this week until July 22nd. I'll be uploading a series of top 5 videos related to One Piece to mark the 20th anniversary, rapidly approaching. So without further ado, let's start this. The top 5 countdown is going to be for the 5 favorite crew members of one of the most infamous and beloved pirate crews in all of anime, as well as One Piece, and that is the Straw Hat Pirates. Simple but effective. So without further ado, let's start my top 5 Straw Hats. I'll give you my reasons as to why I think they're in that category, but let's cook it all. One Piece, and that goes to Sanji. Obviously, one of the strongest members of the Straw Hat Pirates, as well as part of the Monster Trio. Over the past year, we've had more spotlight on Sanji than we've ever seen before. Fortunately, even though it was the year of Sanji, unfortunately, he took more L's than wins. And to be honest, that's happened ever since post-time skip. But if you ignore that and you go to the core, what makes Sanji, his character, so unique and so dynamic at times? Yes, he has a double-edged sword like personality, because obviously it's a gag that when it comes to women, but also it could be a double-edged sword, especially when most of his opponents are women. Go back to Enies Lobby when he fought Caligula, right? Had it not been for Nami, who knows what would happen to Sanji? So because he refused to fight women, so that's a problem. But at the same time, it's one of Sanji's quirks that makes him who he is. Because obviously with his upbringing, and obviously because what he learned from Zeph, what we found out in the flashback that Sanji had, that he was taught by Zeph to never hit women, to treat them with respect, unlike his bros did. So there's that quirk of Sanji's that could be honorable at times, but at the same time, like I said, it could be a double-edged sword. As well as that, obviously, he's one of the strongest crew members. Pre-time skip, he had better track records in his fights. Post-time skip, not so much. But again, like I said, that doesn't define the character. What defines characters is the way that Sanji comes through, even when the odds are against him, right? When his crew members were in trouble, Nami, Momonosuke, Brook, and Chopper, Sanji came in to help out with Doflamingo. Even though he didn't stand a chance, he still came in quick as a cat from Dressrosa all the way to Green Bit, and he blocked Doflamingo before he did anything to Nami and company. So obviously he has what it takes to step up for the people he cares about, which is something we've seen from Sanji time and again. Obviously, when it comes to Skypiea, he obviously sacrificed himself to make sure NL's plan was delayed slightly. Pretty much got broken ribs to help out Luffy that carried Nami, if you remember, on Drum Island. There's that Sanji did. Also, Sanji did get information from Crocodile eavesdropping in when he thought he was calling Mr. 3, but instead he was referring himself to Mr. Prince, which was foreshadowing for what was to come when it comes to the Vince smoke. So, and he's not above putting himself out there to sacrifice himself for the better of the crew. In fact, when Zoro was going to do this, Sanji stepped aside and was like, listen, you've got your dream to become the great swordsman. Take my head instead. I may not mean that much up right now, but trust me, I'm going to cause a lot of problems for you and the government in the future. So Sanji already knew what he was doing, and he did it for the better of the crew, which is the reason why he went to Whole Cake Island in the first place, to make sure the Straw Hats didn't get touched. More specifically, so same could be said for Zeph. And later we found out that Sanji did want to save the Vince Smokes, even if they caused him so much grief. That's Sanji's character to a nutshell. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. With any character comes faults. Sanji's obviously, his weakness comes to women. You guys asked rep by Viola because a woman, but at the same time, had that been somebody else like Pudding, Sanji may be dead right now. But then again, that's probably what saves Sanji's life at the wedding. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It can cost Sanji at times, especially on Fishman Island, because even though it was a gag, he lost so much blood to the point where he almost died, and he needed blood transfusions. So, like I said, Sanji has his funny moments as well. When push comes to shove, he always comes through, and that's why Sanji is at number 5. From number 5 to number 4, probably the most relatable character of the Straw Hats for many reasons, and that goes to Usopp. I'll give you my reasons to why. Obviously, Usopp stepped up in the ranks. His bounty shot up 250 mil. At the same time, Usopp's one of the weakest crew members, but at the same time, that's very relatable because a lot of people, I mean, it's human instinct to be scared, it's frightened a little bit, and that's what Usopp is. He's one in his position. We don't have freakishly abnormal strength, much like Zoro, Luffy, or Sanji. So when Usopp's faced with a crisis situation, at first he obviously gets scared. Later on, when it's for the benefit of the crew, he will do something epic. That's happened time and again. He's the smartest crew members of the Straw Hats, and he can be the most dependable. In fact, in Dressrosa, Usopp may have been the turning point for the entire arc because he reversed the effects that Sugar had by turning everybody into toys, including Robin. Had not Usopp been there, who knows, Doflamingo would have wrapped up his thing with Dressrosa right now. He'd still be probably ruling over. So we got to give him credit for that. Usopp, and it's not the first time Usopp's put himself over for the benefit of the crew. Even before pre-time skip, go back to Arlong Park. Remember that whole situation where he was running away before he had the chance to fight. He was playing dead. Obviously, he got KO'd. He wasn't KO'd. He decided to play dead until his opponent walked away. How dishonorable it would have been had he gone back to Nami and not actually put in the effort when everybody else was fighting tooth and nail. His urge to obviously help out Nami as well is actually putting the work, actually man up for once, and that's the first example that Usopp ever had. Obviously, his goal is to become the brave warrior of the sea and to go to Elbaf. He needs to get moments like that, and he will, especially when it comes to Wano. He may get his chance to shine, but he's had many epic moments before the time skip. Obviously, the most infamous moment, probably solidified his character, was in Water 7 / Enies Lobby. Those two moments, the end of Enies Lobby and the middle of Water 7, defined Usopp's character because he's standing up to Luffy, even though it's kind of ridiculous. The reason why they were fighting over the Going Merry is a little bit insensitive at times. Both fought for what they felt was right at the time, and it's not only one of the most big fights because of the emotional weight that it carried, but also because both of them actually went all out. They did not hold anything back. The fact they were friends made it even more painful. The rest of the Straw Hats were looking on while this was going on, obviously as to the emotion. But Usopp stood up to Luffy, the future king of the pirates, so you got to give him credit for that, regardless of what his reason was. Then fast forward later on to Enies Lobby, that's where Usopp really shined, in my opinion, because he not only donned the Soga King persona, but he also was the first member of the Straw Hats, technically, to speak to Robin and say, listen, believe in Luffy, he will help you out. And later on, at the end of Enies Lobby, during Luffy's fight with Rob Lucci, when Luffy was down, it was Usopp that motivated Luffy to get back on his feet and finish his fight with Lucci, which he did with the Jet Gatling. So Usopp has had these moments. It's not all the time, but when they happen, they make it count. Again, back to Dressrosa, obviously one of the biggest moments he's had in the time skip, in my opinion, when Sugar reawoke and she was going to go after Long Luffy and change him into dolls. Usopp had that vision of what would happen had she have succeeded. He would have forgotten about Luffy altogether. He didn't want to go through that. So no, you got to help him out with the location of Sugar. He awakened Observation Hockey. He made the shot and he saved Luffy and Law. So again, not all the time we don't get to see what Usopp can do, but when we do see what he can do, he makes it count, and he does it for the benefit of his crew, which is something a lot of people can relate to, and it's the reason why I put Usopp at number 4. And number 3, and this should go without saying, in my opinion, the best female of One Piece as well, Straw Hats, and that goes to Nico Robin, even though I know there's only 2 female crew members at this point in time. But it goes to Nico Robin. I'll give you my reasons why. Even before she joined the crew, she was shrouded in mystery. But at that same time, it was during that first fight with Crocodile, after he got his ass on the verge of dying, it was Robin that ended up saving Luffy's life by bringing the meat and reviving Luffy. Had she not done that, who knows what would have happened to Luffy. Even before Robin joined the crew, she was a big help to Luffy. And later on, when she joined the crew, she had a backstory with Shrouded in Mystery until Water 7 and eventually Enies Lobby, when she encountered CP9, the most infamous arc in One Piece, one of the most infamous arcs, and that goes to Enies Lobby. The whole emotional outburst of Robin, her backstory, her character coming together after all that time, all boils down to her actually befriending the Straw Hats, so she decided to sacrifice herself to make sure the CP9 and the government didn't get to the Straw Hats with a buster call. We're going to do that regardless. So obviously Robin was going to sacrifice herself after running away from the government for so long for the benefit of the Straw Hats, which is something that all members of the Straw Hats will do eventually. But Robin went to the absolute extreme. Then we get to find out a backstory, what really went down. One of the most tragic backstories in One Piece, brought it all together, and then Robin with the infamous "Take me with you, I want to live" to Luffy, and that's where Luffy ends up fighting Rob Lucci and liberating Robin at the end by getting her out of Edith's lobby. So that was the midpoint of her character. Later on, obviously, apparently crew member of the Straw Hats. Obviously, combination of beauty, strength, intelligence, and comical side. She's a comic relief for the Straw Hats at times, but she can put in the work where she needs to. She's a huge asset to Luffy in becoming King of the Pirates, because instrumental in Luffy becoming King of the Pirates, because Robin's the only survivor of O'Hara, which means she's the only one that can read the royal poneglyphs. We know how important they are to Luffy to become King of the Pirates and eventually go to Rockdale. So Robin, if not for Robin, it will never ever to be able to accomplish his dream of becoming King of the Pirates. So at number 3 goes to Nico Robin. 2, this is, in my opinion, my favorite character is number 1, but best Straw Hat character in my, it goes to Zoro. Because obviously he's the badass of the crew. He gets an epic moment per arc when we get to see him. He's probably going to get it again when we go to Wano. Even so, it's not just the OP Zoro is. It goes to his character, okay? And at times he can be very, very humble. We go back to the Barate when he fought Mihawk for the first time. He got his ass wrecked. After that, he made the pledge to never lose again. Is that okay with you, future King of the Pirates? He acknowledges Luffy as the King of the Pirates, which is something he's done on 2 occasions. But that was the first. After he lost to Mihawk to make the pledge, he's going to get stronger and he's never going to lose again. Obviously, benefit of the crew. Obviously, when it came to Vivi, he defeated Mr. One back in Alabasta by cutting through steel. And of course, later on would help out Robin by defeating Kaku in his lobby. 3 time skip some of Zoro's toughest fights. Obviously, he has epic moments, and he, like with all characters, he has a weakness. Obviously, that's like getting lost, and sometimes he can fall asleep. After the time skip, he fell asleep. He went underwater because he got on the wrong boat. Then he sliced the boat in half. To fighting, when it comes to helping out his crew member, he can be very dependable, and when push comes to shove, he will come through in the end. Obviously, post time skip, he's never had a problem. He's one-shotted all of his opponents. He one-shotted Hyozu, he one-shotted Monet, he one-shotted Pika. God knows what he would have done to Jack, because we know for a fact Jack is not the right-hand man of Kaido now, even for what we know from Katakuri in Whole Cake Island, because there's no way Big Mom has a sweet commander that's over 1 billion. You can bet your ass that Kaido is going to have a commander over 2 billion. We don't know how things are going to turn out for Wano, but I'm pretty sure Zoro is going to get his chance to shine regardless. Obviously, his ultimate moment came, in my opinion, the best moment of his character came at Thriller Bark, when perhaps were encountered by Buffalo Makuma, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, the Shubi Shubukai, and of course when it came down to Zoro and Kuma, and obviously Kuma said, if you give me the head of Straw Hat Luffy, I won't touch any of you. And then Zoro says, no, don't take Luffy's head, take mine. And he took all of Luffy's pain. After all that, he had the badass pose, dripping with blood, and he's still alive. He was barely, but he's still alive. But it's one of the beastly moments of Zoro's character, and he put himself out there for the benefit of his crew, which is something that probably the most extreme example of that. Like I said, he has had very little challenges post time skip. Who knows how much stronger he's gotten, which in my opinion has been the most untested member of the Straw Hats. We don't really know what Nico Robin could do. Sanji, I think, is at his limit with Whole Cake Island. Zoro, definitely not. Usopp, even though he's waking observation hockey. But Zoro, no, he's not been tested at all. His benefit to put himself out there for the benefit of his crew is what makes Zoro, in my opinion, the best crewmate of the Straw Hat Pirates. Now from number 2 to number 1, and this goes to my favorite. So at number 1, should come as no surprise, Monkey D. Luffy. I'll give you my reasons to why, about the people around him like the Straw Hats. But it's not what makes Luffy's character unique, in my opinion. Obviously, it's a classic case of goofy, clumsy, I guess they're the same thing, clumsy, humorous at times, badass, and he can get damn right serious. And in my opinion, the best quality he's got is being humble, because he knows when he's outmatched, and he knows when somebody's strong, because he noticed Inuyasha on Zo when he met up with him for the first time. Hey, you're really strong, aren't you? So he knows people that are strong, because he can tell straight off the bat. Also, he has a huge habit of not caring about backstories. But if all he needs to know, if you want help, he'll help you out, like he did with Nami, because he slept throughout the flashback. He didn't care. All he wanted to know is if Nami needed help. When she did, she asked Luffy for help. He gave her the Straw Hat. that to me is the first. I mean, there's not many moments like that, but to me, that's the moment that stands out at first. Luffy taking care of business, going. I mean, it's personal now. So Luffy takes care of all along. Later on, did the same thing for Vivi, even though she wasn't part of the crew and she didn't join the crew. She's still an ally, but he did the same thing, even though he decked her on the way to Alabasta, because he said, "Listen, aren't we friends? You should put our lives on the line as well," because that's how he values people he meets as friends. So there's certain moments like that. And I guess he did it same thing for Momonosuke when he made the pledge to take down Kaido. As ill-advised as it is, he's still gonna try and take down Kaido because he hates tyrants. We saw what happened with Doflamingo. After he met with Rebecca, he decided to take down Doflamingo for everybody Dressrosa, more specifically for Rebecca, right? Because so Luffy's had moments like that. Also, like I said, he's very humble. He knows when he's outmatched. He knows when he's in over his head, because I guess you can say in Whole Cake Island, he did say, "I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to get Sanji back." But if you noticed in Enid's lobby when he met with CP9 and before that Aokiji, he says, "I'm really glad I got to meet you guys, because when I lost to Aokiji, I realized I needed to get stronger, and unless I can get stronger myself, myself, I can't protect my friends." So he activates Gear 2nd on Blueno, KOs him, he had Gear 3rd in reserve. So he learned all that by meeting his opponent, so he can be very humble, and he knows. And again, he did the same thing for Jinbei. And after, even though he fell asleep during that flashback, he still ended up helping out Jinbei as well as the Fishman Island by taking care of Hody Jones. But during the time skip, before the time skip, when Ace lost his life trying to protect Luffy, and before then the crew got separated from Sabaody Archipelago because they realized they were in over the head. Luffy was the one that says, "Listen, we need to run because we can't beat these guys. We're outmatched by Kizaru, Sentomaru, and of course the pacifistas. We can't win this." And then Kuma shows up, sending everybody to another place. So Luffy's honest at times when he knows he's outmatched. When it comes to like going above and beyond, and when it comes to a crew member who's in danger, he gets pissed off. Sanji's the most recent example of that. Another is Robin, and before then I can say Nami, but that wasn't really a rescue mission. But at the same time, his crew member was crying, and that's what got pissed off more than anything. So we've had instances like this where Luffy will put himself out there for the benefit of the crew, much like the top 4 that I gave you. Luffy is at the top of the list because he does that, and not only that, he does it to the extreme. I mean, think about this. Okay, he weakens himself every single time he uses Gear 2nd, but he does it for the benefit of trying to protect his crew members. And we know for a fact that because he was posed the question, what's more important to him, his dream of becoming king of the pirates or his crew members, his friends? And obviously, he states his Nakama because he realizes he can't become king of the pirates without his Nakama. So that's the humble part of Luffy. He knows he can't do this on his own. He stated the same thing in Arlong Park. It says, "I would have been dead a long time ago if I hadn't had Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji with me." So even more so now, because he realizes the power scale has changed. He needs his friends. That's why they can't go take down Big Mom. He needs all the Straw Hats to take down if they want to stand the chance, in my opinion. So that could be the key right there. The more, obviously, the stronger together, separating them made them even weaker. But they only did that so they could infiltrate Whole Cake Island. Who knows what would happen if Zoro joined the crew at that point in time? So we're gonna find out if that's the case on Wano. But other than that, Luffy breaks through his limits. Activates Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd. After the time skip, and Dressrosa reveals Gear 4th, as well as activating 2 modes in Gear 4, Tank Man and of course Power Man, which a lot of people speculate he may have another 2 modes. Also, it may activate Gear 5th when it comes to Wano, but we'll find that out. But all in all, it's all in the name of protecting his friends. and the people and the samurai. He made the pledge to take down Kaido. Obviously, after getting to Sanji and setting him straight, he said, after Sanji said, "Yes, listen, I don't want my siblings to die." Of course you don't, because that's you, Sanji. I'm going to help you out to make sure they don't die either. So even though he doesn't even know the Vinsmokes, he doesn't. He still wants to save him for Sanji, right? Also, I guess technically speaking, he wanted to return a favor since Reiju saved his life, and he did. Like I said, the same thing happened with Robin. After he had his life saved by Robin, he returned the favor after Alabasta, after he took down Crocodile by saving Nico Robin's life. So I just give you my reasons. Let me know yours in the comments below. That's my top 5 Straw Hats. I can't give you every single reason, else we'll be here all day, like I said. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, appreciate that. Comment down below your thoughts about your top 5. Subscribe to the channel for more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Bye.